A very good evening. There are still no confirmed or suspected cases of COVID-19 in Niue. However, health authorities have teamed up with New Zealand counterparts and the World Health Organization to step up its preparedness activities. The first confirmed case of COVID-19 in the Pacific has been confirmed in French Polynesia. For Niue's preparedness activities, the Health Department currently has Menime Tauvasa Lene from the World Health Organization and Dr. Tom Kedri-Zinski and Dr. Laupepa Va'a from the New Zealand's Ministry of Health working with Niue's Health Department to improve preparedness efforts.
One of the other things we've been doing here is just checking the hospital system, checking what sort of capacity they have to respond. If situations got much worse, and we're hoping that isn't the case, but we're already having discussions in terms of how New Zealand might be able to respond in that situation where they have more cases here than they're able to handle. And I think that's something for the Department of Health to have those ongoing discussions with the Ministry of Health back home. And in fact, we have to be careful that obviously because of the size of the health system here, that they're not overrun. One way to do that is to help manage things at home if people are well enough. We know that with coronavirus at this stage that the majority of people, about 80% of people, will have a mild illness that should be able to be managed at home, but it's important to have a process in place if people do become unwell, that there's a place here at the hospital that they can come to and get proper care.
Community outreach programs by the Health Department are ongoing, aimed at sharing information about the COVID-19 and to educate as many people on preventative measures. The Health Department states they are providing opportunities for community members to ask questions and are therefore encouraged to participate. This morning, the Health Department officials met with members of the business community, including accommodation providers, to discuss the impact that COVID-19 may have on their businesses or services. The Health Department has carried out 2 point-of-entry border control simulations in the past week, involving all staff who regularly work at the airport.
New Zealanders obviously has a travel advisory where they are reviewing regularly in terms of what countries are travelling through there, but then also as a gateway to the Pacific, what potential risk there is in terms of travel to Niue. And also as of this morning, there's been some discussions around what Niue is going to do at their border. So there's like a double gate effectively in terms of managing just the border aspects. The other thing is in terms of the border staff and how they're preparing. So we did a really good assessment at the airport, for example, yesterday, just to see what their processes were like, the systems they have in place, and I was reassured that they seem to have a good system in place for managing something like that. And it's important that border staff are working with the hospital and Department of Health here.
The novel coronavirus has infected more than 118,000 people and killed close to 4,300 worldwide, according to the World Health Organization.
There are so many cases. There are also so many people that have recovered as well. And that's something that's not often mentioned. And again, I say that we know that about 80% of people will have a mild illness if they do get it. And actually not, everyone that's exposed to it doesn't tend to, develop sort of significant symptoms. So it's something that we think we can manage.
An updated travel advisory has been issued by the Immigration Department. This has been approved by Cabinet in its meeting on Tuesday this week and is currently in effect. People intending to travel to Niue who have been in the People's Republic of China, Iran, Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, Indonesia and Thailand within the last 14 days prior to travel without written authorization from the government of Niue will be refused entry. All travellers who ordinarily reside in Niue should avoid non-essential travel to the countries listed. However, should travel be undertaken, then returning travellers will be asked to self-isolate for 14 days upon return to Niue. These are in accordance to the Niue Immigration Act 2011, Section 9, Subsection 1D. This travel advisory is subject to be reviewed as required. A total of 9 people are known to have contracted fish poisoning. 5 were admitted at the hospital this morning. The group of people aged in their 20s and mid-30s had consumed red bass or whangamea in a gathering last night. The fish was caught in Alofi waters. Dr. Jason Tautasi confirmed to BCN News the red bass fish contains the ciguatera poisoning. Fish poisoning symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, and general body weakness, dehydration from the loss of fluid. According to Dr. Jason, one of the worst side effects of ciguatera poisoning is low heart rate that can also drop the blood pressure. Fish poisoning, also known as ciguatera poisoning, is caused by eating warm water ocean fish that have ciguatera toxins. The toxin is produced by a small organism called dinoflagellate, which attaches to the algae in warm ocean waters in reef areas. A date for Niue's 2020 general election has been finalized and will be announced in Parliament next week. The Speaker of the Fono Eke Pule, Honourable Tongia Pihingia, has confirmed that he has received official notice from the Premier Sir Toke Talangi. The next sitting of the House will be on Wednesday next week, the 18th of March. In line with the requirements of the Constitution, it is expected the meeting will also be informed of the date when the 16th Legislative Assembly will be dissolved, which at this stage is likely to be in April. Meanwhile, the Chief Electoral Officer Darren Tohovaka says that once the date of the general election is officially announced, the electoral roll will be open for new electors to be registered. This will take place 30 days from the date of the general election. Overbreeding of cats and dogs on the island continues to be an animal welfare issue. This has been highlighted in a report by the Rock Vets team. In a report by the Rock Vets, trustees and members of the team, it states the citizens of Niue Island are very supportive of the program. The animals that were brought to their clinics are looking in better health, and because of the on-island skills and networks they have developed, they can offer, as best as is possible, distance vet advice. Rock Vets stated that the island fundraising has been fabulous. They thank all the businesses and individuals who have got in behind the Rock Vets and proven their desire to see a vet service for Niue. There have now been 2 years of pig husbandry lectures. These have been very well attended. According to statistics by the Rock Vets based on their 2019 visit, there are a total of 122 health checkups. 79 female dogs were desexed, while 71 male dogs were desexed. A total of 42 female cats were desexed, as well as 42 for the male cats. 12 cases were for other surgeries. There were 2 school visits and 2 pig seminars and 7 meetings held by the Rock Vets team. And that's BCN News for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Do join us same time next Monday. Until then, have a safe weekend.